Hi everyone, today I am here to tell you about Benny. This is Benny. Now Benny, what can I say? He is from Romania and he is a lovely old boy. He's a senior dog and he has a leg missing. Now typically, I don't think you can, well you might be able to see, can you see here? I was going to say he's laying on that side but he's not. Look, this is where his leg was. And it is no longer, is it? But that doesn't stop him getting about. He loves his walks. We just go on one short walk a day of about between 30 minutes and an hour. And he loves that. And then for the rest of the day, he really just sleeps, mainly in the garden. He absolutely loves to be outside, even when it's freezing cold. I've had to bring him in today so that I can do the filming and not be freezing myself. So this is Benny. Benny was left in a shelter with his leg very, very, very badly broken. We don't know Benny's full story and full history, but we believe that he was put there by his previous owner. I'm not sure why, but he was, and he was left with that leg. We believe that the leg had been like that for some time, so he'd been dragging around this useless leg, which must have been quite distressing. Also, we're not quite sure how the leg was broken, but having been living with Benny for the last nearly 3 years, I believe personally that it was because he was beaten. When he first came to us, he was quite traumatised. He was very, very thin, and he was very, very frightened of men. He was very, very frightened of anything, like if I moved my arms too quickly, if I got the pan out of the cupboard, he would cower. If I got a tea towel and just flapped it or flapped some washing or anything like that, he would be very frightened. So I believe that he was hit with something, probably repeatedly, to break that leg. And he's also got a big scar on his nose here. He's got a scar in his ear. He's just not had a very nice life at all. The other thing I believe also is at some point he was either kept on a chain or fed a horrendous diet, because his teeth a lot of them are worn down to stumps and completely rotten. So I believe he was chewing on a chain to get free, or eating things perhaps like stones or whatever for nourishment. So that also is really, really sad. As I said, Benny was very traumatised when he came to us. He spent a couple of weeks in foster, not very long before he came to us. But it's taken all this time for him to really, really learn to trust. He was always friendly and never particularly aggressive, but he was subdued. He didn't like people approaching him. He didn't even like Johnny, my husband, to sit near him of an evening, for example. If Johnny tried to sit too close, he would sort of show his teeth and things like that. And it took him quite a long time to recover from what I believe is PTSD. And even now, even nearly 3 years on, and after having such a wonderful time for those 3 years, he still does show those signs occasionally, not very often. The key with working with a traumatised dog or any animal is just patience. They all come around. I believe every single animal will come around to some degree. And, you know, even just doing this and loving on his face and stuff like that was not something I would have been able to do 2-3 years ago. So just time, patience, love, and don't force it. You know, don't force them to do anything that they don't want to do. Think about what they want rather than what you want. So that's how we've sort of come around with Benny. And now I'm so proud of him, because when we're out walking, if people approach him, particularly men, he would not be happy with that at all, and he would come away and hide behind me or whatever. And now he's happy to be stroked and fussed upon, which is lovely. And he was also terrified on busy roads and things like that. And now he's really, really good. Unless a massive big lorry comes, he's really, really good. So that's really makes it all worthwhile. To Benny's disability, so he has a leg missing, obviously. This doesn't really affect him that much. He's not too keen about going up and down stairs, so we tend to taking places where that's not necessary. To get him in and out of the car is tricky. He's a little bit frightened with his PTSD as well of doorways and narrow things. Came to us with heartworm. So he was on medication for 2 years for heartworm as well, which is not uncommon in other countries. A lot of animals can get heartworm. It's carried by a mosquito, I believe. Something we don't have over here, thankfully. But other than that, he's having his stumpy teeth, doesn't stop him from eating. His leg doesn't stop him from getting around. And the heartworm is now gone. So he's, all in all, just having an absolutely wonderful, wonderful life. Don't be afraid to take on a senior animal. Senior animals are just wonderful. They are more settled, they need less attention in the sense of they usually need less walks, they're happy to sleep, they just want to cuddle. They know themselves, don't you, Ben? Yeah? Yeah. Secondly, don't be afraid to take on an animal who may be senior and or with a disability like Benny with his leg missing, because it really doesn't make any difference to his everyday life or to our lives. It doesn't stop us doing the things we want to do with him, like walking. So definitely don't be afraid of that. And thirdly, again, don't be afraid of adopting an animal from somewhere like Romania, for example, where Benny's from. We have animals over here, of course, that need rehoming, and absolutely advocate for that too. But don't be put off if the animal that you really want to rehome is abroad. There are wonderful places, wonderful charities who bring the animals over and foster them first so that you can adopt them from there, which is what we did with Benny. He was saved and rescued by Safe Rescue for Dogs, based in Norfolk. And then we got him on from there. Hey! So, from me and from Benny, I want to say if you like the video, please like it and subscribe up to our channel for more information about the animals. And thank you so much for watching. We really appreciate it. Don't we, Benny?